Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another video. Now today is the form of a video essay, but I've popped up here to say hey. Pretty sick rhymes, fam. Anyway, today I'm here to list and rank who my favourite interpretations of the Master are, and why they're so good, and ultimately what makes the perfect Master. So yeah, just to set off a few ground rules, no Big Finish is involved in this properly, so sorry Big Finish listeners. And yeah, they have to be from the TV show, proper TV show, and I'm going to include the TV movie. You get the gist, maybe not. So yeah, go, watch, now, dab.
Yeah, okay.
So, starting at the bottom of the list, number 8. He always dresses for the occasion. Eric Roberts, the TV movie master, or as I like to call him, the king of cheese. His master is basically like if you got cheese, then grated some more cheese on top of it, putting it on a cheese cracker, and then somehow still finding more new inventive ways to add more cheese.
Cheese, Lancashire, cheddar, Wensleydale, Philadelphia, Tesco's. Cheese!
Yes, that may sound harsh, but that's the only metaphor I can think of. I don't understand what the TV movie makers were going for with his master. It seems like they'd never looked at the source material, and you got this weird sort of Saturday morning cartoon character that didn't really fit the role of the master.
I always dress for the occasion.
Only making one appearance in the 1996 TV movie, Eric Roberts' interpretation of the character is at the bottom of the list, due to some weird writing and a somewhat odd and unneeded performance. I'm sure Eric Roberts is a great actor, but yeah, it didn't work. Sorry fans of the TV movie, his master just didn't do it for me. Now, moving to the number 7 spot. Sorry if I sound negative, I'm not meaning to. And yeah, in the 7th place we have technically 2 masters, but they count as one, those being the Crispy Masters, as nicknamed by many fans, played by Jeffrey Beavers and Peter Pratt. Now, this master isn't really the master, and that's kind of the point. He's locked away, hiding, dishevelled, deformed, and he still has the scheming nature of the character, but that's about it. Sadly, the performance from both brilliant actors is ruined by the large obstructive latex mask worn around their face. A creepy look which I'm sure would have made 70s kids run and hide behind the sofa. But it doesn't exactly stand up to today's standard. That's why I'm placing the Crispy Master towards the bottom of the list. Now don't get me wrong, I don't hate him, he's just not necessarily as good as the remaining masters on the list. Now, this is where the list really picks up. In the 6th place, the longest serving master, Anthony Ainley. Yeah, he's alright I suppose, not perfect, but he's quite good. That probably sounds like blasphemy for many of you Whovians out there, but I never really connected with his character and was never able to achieve that sense of absolute shock and horror and oh no, something bad's gonna happen mindset that I have with all subsequent masters. His performance was often a bit hammy and almost too over the top for my liking.
You never do.
Thankfully nowhere near as bad as the Eric Roberts master. Yikes. I do still enjoy his performance and his master, and he does well with what he's given. Evil and enjoyable, this master is in the number 6th spot. Now, moving to number 5, this is where the list really gets going, and it becomes difficult to order the top 5. Well, she couldn't very well keep calling herself the master now, could she? Michelle Gomez's Missy, the female incarnation of the master, takes the number 5 spot. Now, some of you may be shocked to see her so relatively low on this list, as you know that I love the Capaldi era, and my favourite series is Series 10, which features Missy predominantly. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not dislike her character at all, but I just fail to connect with her interpretation as much as the others who are higher on this list. She does, however, have the perfect character arc. Will she turn good? Can it be done? Do her and Capaldi's doctors love each other? Is that fanfic territory? Yep. Whoops. But the answer was yes. Yes, she could. And she did turn good. But sadly, in what I can only describe to be the best Shakespearean tragedy of all time, she was shot and killed by her former self. A brilliantly acted performance who seemed more of a friend than a threat to the Doctor. The evil Mary Poppins take on this iconic role. Missy takes a very well-deserved number 5 spot on the list. As you can see from the list, I prefer masters when they are completely insane and very, very evil. Now, this isn't a fault of Michelle Gomez or Missy, it's the way she's written, and I really like the character arc, but once again, I don't get that impending sense of doom whenever she shows up on screen. It was briefly there in Death in Heaven, the Series 8 finale, but that's about it. Moving into the number 4 spot, you are not alone. Professor Yana, one of the loveliest, happiest, kindest old men ever to grace our TV screens, yet at the flip of a watch, he can become the single most hate-filled, evil man you would ever wish to meet.
You, with your Chan and your dove driving me insane!
Professor, please!
That is not my name!
Derek Jacobi's performance as the Master is underrated brilliance. Although only very brief on screen, we follow the adventures of this Master through the Big Finish series, The War Master. But, for the sake of this list, I'm just going to stick to his role and his appearance in the actual TV show back in 2007's Utopia. He is a perfect threat and mixture of both modern and classic masters, which is exactly what his role needed to be, introducing new fans and classic fans alike to this iconic character, having the insanity and shake of hatred in him, yet still being colder, calmer, and more calculating. A perfect British actor playing a fantastic interpretation of the legendary character. The switch between Professor Yana and the Master is chilling and never fails to leave me open-mouthed in shock.
I am the Master.
Hence why, although a brief appearance, Jacobi's Master takes the 4th spot on the list. I'm sure if he had more screen time, he would be much higher. Now, moving into the number 3 spot. He is the Master, and you will obey him. He's the Master. The original, you might say. In the number 3 spot, we have the fantastic Roger Delgado, this calculating and cool, evil nemesis of everyone's favourite Time Lord. As can be seen in the list, I love it when Masters mirror their versions of the Doctor, and Delgado's achieves this alongside Pertwee's 3rd Doctor incredibly well. He is the calm yet evil counterpart to Pertwee's James Bond-esque style of playing the character.
You're a good doctor, but you're not good enough!
But you haven't seen the quality of my footwork yet.
He's almost like a Bond villain. They play off each other incredibly well and remain calm while picking their next move, hiding it from the other. Brilliant. On top of this, arguably, without such a stellar performance from Delgado, we almost certainly would not still have this iconic character around today. He set up the legacy that would carry on for somewhat over 50 years. Truly iconic. Now, believe me, this really wasn't an easy choice. Number 1 and number 2 are practically interchangeable. The 2nd spot on the list, it honestly, could have gone either way. I'm sure this will be controversial, but in the number 2 spot, we have John Simm. A fantastic actor who was born to play the part. You feel the insanity coming off Simm in bucket loads. His tortured laugh and frantic upright nature shows just how truly insane and crazy he is. His grin is infectious, and his moments of comedy are close to perfection, such as his scene where he becomes Prime Minister of the UK.
Funny is like this. Not funny is like this. And right now, I'm not like...
His spite and hatred of the Doctor really shine through, as he is even willing to die, simply just to upset and hurt the Doctor.
We're the only two left.
Regenerate! I win.
This master is fully evil and full of uncontrollable rage, as seen when he kills his future self, just to guarantee that he never stands with the Doctor. Whenever Simm's master showed up in Doctor Who, you knew that something was about to go down. You knew that something was about to go wrong. Rip Bill, you will not be forgotten. From his fascination with Teletubbies to his dancing and singing in triumph at the victory over the Doctor. The Simm Master takes a very well-deserved second place. Now, in the number 1 spot, oh, it's Sasha Derwin. He provides a brilliantly insane take on the character, where you really get the impression that everything he does is agonising pain to him. He's tortured and insane, acting evil for fun, out of boredom. He has nothing better to do, and you can see that it truly brings him joy to watch others suffer.
When I kill them, Doctor, it gives me a little buzz. Right here, in the hearts.
Brief moments, such as in The Timeless Children, when he almost wishes that he'd been killed by the death particle, are so impactful and enjoyable to watch on screen. They give real layers to the character. The perfect switch between "Oh" and the Master at the end of Spyfall Part 1 was magnificently shocking. Still one of, if not my favourite Doctor Who shocking cliffhanger of all time. I just didn't see it coming.
He can't be.
Oh, I can be. I very much am. So what's going on then? He's not really O.
I'm her best enemy.
His facial expressions and body language are also absolutely perfect. If you watch him, he's constantly shaking with excitement and rage. His energy is infectious, and when he shouts you can hear the hatred and hurt in his voice. He's a tortured soul. It's absolutely brilliant.
Good dog.
He also has a fantastic costume and style, with his greasy and all over the place messy quiff, acting almost as an insane and evil 11th Doctor. It's almost as if the 11th Doctor became the Valeyard. This is what would happen. He is also the perfect parallel to Jodie's 13th Doctor in his childlike actions and behaviour. Jodie seems somewhat childish, and this is completely matched by Sasha Derwin's performance. He acts like a tortured, insane, angry, spoilt brat. This can be seen when he shouts at the end of Spyfall Part 2, or when he tosses the shrunken O aside, as it doesn't concern him anymore. He doesn't need it. Absolute villainous perfection. So, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you did enjoy, remember to like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. Please give me ideas for what other videos you'd like to see in the near future. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Don't forget to click below.
Subscribe to the confused Adipose.